At the movie's beginning, Kevin drives up to an abandoned building where he meets up with a man who claims to be selling alien technology. As they start talking, the man's assistants enter the building as well. They then get off their bikes and open 2 cases containing the alien tech. Kevin asks the man if he knows what the technology does, but he has no idea. Kevin tells them he must consult with his team before going through with the sale and calls for them to appear. So his team, Ben and Gwen, roll up and join him. And when the man sees them, he asks who they are. Before anyone can respond, the girl with the sellers responds and says that the 3 of them are from Plumbers, an organization that protects Earth from alien attacks. Ben immediately recognizes her as Elena when she takes off her helmet. He tells his team that her father had been a part of the organization until they had moved away. Elena interrupts Ben and tells him they have been lied to because her family did not move away, but was thrown out of the organization. She then reveals that the only reason why she had faked a sale on the black market is because her father had been kidnapped, and she needs the organization's help rescuing him. All of a sudden, a man appears behind them and observes what they're doing. He then activates the alien chips inside the container. The chips break free from the glass containers and begin attacking the group. As everyone rushes to find cover, Ben discovers that his magical watch, Omnitrix, a watch-like device that he uses to transform into aliens, is malfunctioning. Gwen suggests that it may be because of the chips and decides to use her powers to destroy some of the chips. At the same time, Kevin turns into his alien form and lures the chips away from Ben. This gives Ben a chance to transform into Big Chill, an alien that blows freezing breath. Ben uses the alien's abilities to freeze all of the chips before destroying them. He then turns towards the mystery man and blows the frozen breath at him as well. But the man unleashes more alien chips at Ben and disappears. Ben manages to defeat them, but as he looks around, he notices that Elena is gone. Kevin comments that the chips must have been Elena's doing, as she was the one who brought the alien technology to them. Ben does not agree with them, saying that Elena truly sounded concerned about her father and only wanted their help. The team then heads back to their hideout where they scan the chip, and we find out they are cousins. At the same time, Elena breaks into their hideout while Ben and his team are distracted. Kevin discovers that the chips are alive, almost like bees, but he is unable to find where they came from and who is controlling them. Just then, Max, their grandpa, walks into the room and notices the chip. He immediately recognizes it and becomes alert, just as an alarm starts blaring through the speakers, warning them of an intruder. Gwen uses her powers to locate the intruder's location and tells everyone that the intruder is in Max's office. Not knowing what to expect, everyone remains on guard and approaches the office. However, when Max starts to threaten to shoot, Elena comes out from hiding. Once again, she begs for help, but Max refuses to do anything for her and asks Gwen to escort her out. Noticing how confused her friends look, Elena explains that Max had abandoned her father once and was doing it again by refusing to help find him. As she leaves, Ben tries to reason with his grandpa and asks for an explanation for not wanting to help Elena's father. Max tells them that her father, Victor, was one of the best plumbers in their organization, but he was dishonorably discharged when he was caught stealing alien tech, specifically the chips that Elena was dealing with. Hearing this, Ben suggests that they should help Elena because that is the only way they will be able to find out who is controlling the chips. Max does not budge from his decision and forbids Ben from helping his friend. Angry, Ben decides to follow Elena despite his grandpa's orders and offers his help to her, while Kevin and Gwen choose to stay behind with Max. That night, the man who had attacked Ben and his cousins wanders through the town until he is stopped by 2 thugs who ask him to hand over his wallet. The man unleashes the chips on them and they absorb into their skin, causing them to become hypnotized. At the same time, Elena leads Ben to a building where she had last seen her father. Back at the hideout, Kevin sneaks into Max's office and starts researching about the alien chips. At that moment, Gwen walks in and confronts him about breaching Max's privacy. Kevin manages to guilt-trip her into letting him look into the chips. They find that Max has kept all information on the chips in a secret folder. With Gwen's approval, he tries to break into the folder to find out more. Meanwhile, the mystery man watches Ben and Elena from the top of the building, while his hypnotized minions load several boxes inside a van before it drives away. Ben and Elena enter the building, and she informs him that her father had built a lab in the building and was conducting his research there. He was researching the alien chips because he believed they were much more powerful than they had expected. Since no one at the organization wanted to believe him, he had stolen the tech and was studying it alone. This is when Elena notes that several items from her father's lab are missing. Ben picks up a shipping receipt from a company called Ship It and asks her if he might have sent the stuff to someone. Before she can reply, they are surrounded by the alien chip-controlled minions. Ben tries to transform into his aliens to fight them off, but he discovers that his watch is malfunctioning again. He tells Elena that the alien chips may be what is causing the glitch. They rush towards their bikes and escape. At this point, despite his suspicions about Elena double-crossing him, Ben tells her that they need to visit the shipping company to see if they can find a delivery address. On the other hand, Kevin and Gwen stumble upon an interrogation footage of Victor. In this video, he informs Max about the potential danger of the chips and his suspicions about someone taking control of the chips to take over the world. Yet again, Max does not believe anything that Victor tells him and ends up firing him. Just as Kevin and Gwen see this, they decide to continue their research on the chips that had been interrupted by Max. Sometime later, their findings reveal the location of the chips. They decide to head for the warehouse, but when they reach the warehouse, they find that it is empty, and the receipts show that the tech has been shipped already. All of a sudden, an employee shows up behind them and asks them what they are doing. Unaware that the man is being controlled by the chip, they try to make excuses, but the man claims that his queen's orders are more important than anything. Annoyed, Kevin uses his powers to punch the man, causing him to go flying through a window. They run to their car and are about to leave when they notice the man standing behind them, looking unharmed. To their surprise, the man summons the alien chips and orders them to follow their car. Kevin speeds out of the warehouse, but Gwen discovers that the chips are getting smarter and have now taken the shape of a ball, something that they were not able to do earlier. Just as the alien chips are about to reach their car, Kevin turns at the last minute, causing them to break their form. This still does not prove to be enough to destroy the chips. As they continue to follow their car through a narrow tunnel, they speed through the tunnel, but all of a sudden, a car blocks their entrance. Kevin once again turns his car, causing the alien chip balls to smash into the other car. On the other side, Ben and Elena try to figure out the location of the chips when Elena hears the loud sound of Kevin's car. She asks Ben what the sound is, and he immediately recognizes it as their car. The two of them get on their bikes and follow Gwen and Kevin. During this, the alien chips finally catch up to Kevin and Gwen, causing their car to overturn. The two of them manage to get out of their damaged car, but find that they can't see the chips. Suddenly, the chips appear above them on top of the bridge in the form of a spiky ball. Gwen uses her power to damage the chips, but it makes no difference to them. Kevin too prepares to attack the ball just as Elena and Ben join them. Ben transforms into an alien and attacks the chip, while the rest of them hide to avoid getting hit by the attacks. Ben fights the chips, but no matter what he does, he is unable to completely destroy them. With each attack, the chips break form before taking another shape. With no other choice left, Ben picks up the damaged car and uses it to hit the chips, causing them to finally fall to the ground, dead. The four of them gather around, and Kevin informs Ben that the chips are being controlled. Gwen also tells them that the chips are getting absorbed into people's skins and controlling them. She tells the group that they need to take some of the active chips back to the hideout to find more information about them. Back at the hideout, Max finds that the chips have already been released worldwide. Ben and Elena arrive there as well and tell Max the truth about the chips. However, he does not believe them and still thinks that Elena is trying to manipulate them. Gwen and Kevin interrupt him and back up everything that Ben had told their grandpa. Gwen then gives Max the active chips and tells him to run another search on them. He finds that the chips are made from extraterrestrial hardware. Once he finishes running the scan, Max goes to put the chips into a container, but one of them escapes and jumps onto his skin. Yet again, he blames Elena's father for using his research to make advancements on the chips. But Elena tells him that the chips had always been this powerful. They were only hibernating. Ben stops their argument and tells them that the chips operate like bees, and if they destroy the queen chip, it will kill all the chips around the world. Max puts all of them to work while he leaves to conduct more research. Sometime later, Ben goes to Max to help him with finding a location for all the chips, but he notices that Max is not researching like he had told them and calls out for his grandpa. Suddenly, Max comes up behind him and is about to attack when Ben turns around. He manages to stop the attack and tries to stop Max, Before Max can do any real harm, Kevin comes up behind them and hits him over the head, knocking him out. When Max regains consciousness, they find that he has been taken over by the chips as well. Max reveals the aliens' plans of getting rid of the plumbers and ending humankind. He then presses a button that causes gas to release in the chamber and disappears. While Gwen wants to find their grandpa, Ben suggests that they should focus on finding the Queen, because that is how it is going to help everyone. The team agrees, and Gwen starts running a search for the possible locations of the Queen. She finds that the chips are everywhere except for a small town in Missouri, where coincidentally, the company Ship It has its headquarters. Kevin tells them that this is probably where the chips are being manufactured and distributed. After this, the group decides to head to Missouri and use a new car that Kevin had made for Ben to get there. By the time they reach the manufacturing plant, they discover that the place is filled with alien-controlled people who are shipping chips all over the world. The four of them sneak inside, and to their surprise, they find that Victor is hooked onto several pipes through which the chips are being produced. Kevin immediately turns to Elena and shouts at her, saying that she knew her father was behind the chips. Ben refuses to believe that Elena was manipulating them, but she confesses that she only wanted to help her father because she thinks that the Queen is inside him. Kevin suggests that killing her father would mean that the Queen would die as well. However, both Ben and Elena are against the idea. Just then, Ben comes up with a new plan. He tells everyone that the Omnitrix had scanned the alien chips and was able to copy their DNA. This means that Ben can transform into an alien chip and enter Victor's body to get rid of the Queen. Even though Gwen is worried about the Queen taking over and controlling him, she has no choice but to go along with the plan as the alien-controlled people begin to notice them. While the group fights them off, Ben transforms into the alien chip and manages to fly inside Victor's body. There, he confronts the Queen and tries to reason with her, but he discovers she is intent on destroying humankind. The two of them start attacking each other, but the Queen always manages to dodge Ben's attacks. Outside, the group quickly gets surrounded by the mob, and no matter how many people they get rid of, they seem to always multiply. Inside Victor's body, Ben and the Queen continue fighting until Ben summons more power from his watch and launches one last attack on the Queen. This time, he manages to overpower her and kills her, causing all of the people outside to regain their consciousness. With everyone now free from the aliens' control, they begin to leave the warehouse. Ben looks around for Max and eventually finds him outside. Instead of scolding him, Max is extremely proud of Ben and suggests that he should step in for him whenever he is not around. After that, Elena officially joins Ben's team, and her father joins the plumbers organization again. Thanks for tuning in. A thumbs up would be amazing because I've got some bills to pay.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?